Execution law 2. Enterprise clients don't expand contracts because you add more services. They expand contracts because they don't want to rebuild trust. The biggest risk in any agency relationship isn't losing the client. It's what happens when the client grows faster than your capability. Most agencies respond by hiring. Some respond by saying no. The best ones respond differently. They expand capability without asking the client to start over. We learned this from a relationship that looked almost too small to matter. Another agency had already won the client. They didn't need another agency. They didn't need another strategy. They needed one writer for 3 months. That was the entire requirement. Nobody imagined that assignment would become one of the longest running relationships we'd support. But something interesting happened. The client's business evolved, and every time the business changed, communication changed with it. Writing wasn't enough anymore. Design became essential, then video, then faster turnaround, then always-on communication. Every new requirement created a decision. Should the agency introduce another partner? Should the client start briefing someone new? Should another relationship be created? Instead, the agency made a different decision. They chose to protect the relationship they had already built and expand the capability behind it. That's where we came in. Not as another agency, not as another vendor, as an execution layer working behind a trusted agency relationship. The client continued working with the same people they already trusted. Behind the scenes, the execution system kept growing. That completely changed how we think about enterprise partnerships. We realized something simple. Growth should increase capability. It should never increase client effort. That's a principle we've carried into every engagement since. Because enterprise leaders don't wake up hoping to manage more agencies. They want fewer relationships with greater capability. That's what trust really buys, not comfort, continuity. As the relationship matured, the execution system matured with it. One writer became a multidisciplinary team. Daily operations eventually supported communication from 9 in the morning until midnight. 365 days a year, the original 3-month engagement earned one extension, then another. Eventually, what began as a short assignment evolved into a relationship that continued for 3.5 years. Those numbers sound impressive, but they're not the real outcome. The real outcome is that the client never had to start over. No new onboarding, no rebuilding context, no explaining the business again. Capability expanded, complexity didn't. And I think that's the highest compliment any agency partner can earn. Not that they delivered great work, but that they made change feel invisible. If you're leading an agency or managing external partners, ask yourself 3 questions. When your client's business changes, does your operating model grow with it, or does your client have to find someone else? When new expertise is needed, does your team absorb the complexity, or does your client? And if your biggest client doubled the scope tomorrow, would they think of expanding your role or replacing part of it? Those answers reveal something much more important than your service list. They reveal whether clients trust your operating system. For years, I thought agencies became indispensable by offering more services. Today, I believe they become indispensable by removing reasons for clients to look elsewhere. Maybe that's the real measure of a long-term partnership, not how many campaigns you've delivered, not how many people are on the account, but how naturally your capability grows without your client ever feeling the growing pains. Because businesses don't scale through bigger teams alone, they scale through relationships that become stronger every time the business becomes more complex. So here's the question I'd leave you with. When your best client's business outgrows today's scope, will they need another partner, or will they already trust you enough to grow with them?